Hi, Assalamu alaikum. I am Hasib Shah, and after a long time, I will be making a video for you on plant biodiversity in major deserts of Pakistan and their conservation issues. This picture is taken from National Geographic. So, contents which I made for this presentation is that introduction. First, we will talk about introduction, types of desert in Pakistan, significance. Okay, the significance of deserts, plant adaptation, major deserts of Pakistan. So first of all, that is types of desert across the world, not just in Pakistan. I'm really sorry. And major deserts of Pakistan, threats to biodiversity, conservation strategies. Excuse me. Moving on, what is biodiversity actually means? It is variability among living organisms from all sources. This includes diversity within species, between species, and of ecosystem. Okay, a desert, which is our topic. So arid land with usually sparse vegetation, especially such land having a very warm climate and receiving less than 25 rainfall annually. So whichever place have these characteristics falls in desert category. Types of desert. There are two types of deserts: cold desert and hot desert. As the name indicates, the cold desert are those which are near to south poles and have long winters, short and warm summer. On the other hand, hot deserts are those which have high temperature and long summer. Significance: fragile ecosystem. Their ecosystem is very fragile, and food, medicine, sheltering, reproduction, breeding place, all these come in that. Typical environment having unique biological diversity, place for ecotourism, specific landscape. So they have their own specific landscape. Uh, okay, desert plant adaptations. As we know that deserts don't have much rainfall, so always have drought. So to prevent that, the plant adopt according to their environment to escape death. High soil and deep temperature, saline soil, etc., etc. These are the stress for plants. So plant adopt according to these stresses. So modification which occur within them is that some are drought avoiders, some are drought tolerators, and some are drought escapers, and some are halophytes. Evergreen shrubs, succulents, these are coming. Moving on, drought tolerators are evergreen shrubs, true xerophytes. As you may know that xerophytes are those which have high root to shoot ratio, extensive rooting system, high rates of photosynthesis at high temperatures, shed some leaves in extreme drought, flower opportunistically. So there are three types of plants. One are xerophytes, which do not find water. Okay, so the evergreen shrubs came into that fall in that category. High root to shoot ratio. Their roots are a lot according to shoots, so this is called high root to shoot ratio. Extensive rooting system, which enable them to suck water from from soil, and which make them sustain in the extreme drought conditions. So they tolerate in this way drought. High rate of photosynthesis, high temperature. As you might be, I'm sure you will be familiar with the photosynthesis. So when temperature gets very high, so is uh, it is it is possible that the photosynthetic pigments or photosynthetic um, photosynthetic organelles of plant get destructed or destroyed or damaged. So they adapt themselves in a way that they do photosynthesis in a high rates at high temperatures, shed some leaf in extreme drought. It is obvious for the at high temperatures and in drought conditions, and also in winter in our places which are normal, which are not deserts, where also plant do shed their leaves to extreme coldness to avoid crystallization. Same thing happen here. They shed their leaves to avoid to shun drought, because if leaves are still there and a lot of leaves, so they will expire, oh no, sorry, transpire water, which will cause that plant, these evergreen shrubs, to be killed, because loss of water will kill them. So flower opportunity, whenever they find suitable favorable environment, they get flowered, they do produce flowers. So it is on the conditions, and so it is called opportunistic. Succulents are spongy parenchyma. You will be familiar with the parenchyma, where and low surface to volume ratio. Low surface to volume ratio, grow slowly, photosynthetic stems, because leaves are very less, almost no, and shallow roots, spines, they have spines. Many species are frost resistant, because they contain or they store a lot of they contain or store a very saturated material or liquid in them. So whenever a solution is very saturated, it does not get frost easily. These are the example. Heliotrope pine. Oh, I can't see because of this. So if I move it, okay. Calotropis procera. These are these come in the category of succulents. Drought avoiders. So deciduous leaves not drought tolerant. Their leaves are not drought tolerant. High maximum photosynthetic rate, because the environment is such that they get a lot of light, so that's why photosynthetic rates are very high in those desert plants. Limited photosynthetic period. It is also due to the scorching heat, which will kill eventually if not closed the photosynthetic organelles or pigments. So drought escapers, ephemerals, annuals, you can see the picture. Styloforum diphyllum, grow only when water is available, so they avoid they escape, they run from drought, so they do not grow when water is not available. So that's why they are called escaper. Lifespan of weeks to months. So whenever they get water, they grow, they reproduce, so their cycle went off, and after again on that place drought came in, then they die. So their photosynthesis and growth rate is also very rapid. May not possess xeromorphic features, so because they can't live uh, in drought. Halophytes. Halophytes are those which can live in salt secreting glands on leaves of some species. Organic acid and soluble carbohydrates create high solute concentration in their cells, so they can tolerate a lot of heat. So that's why they are called halophytes. What they do, as I told you earlier, that they secrete salt secreting glands on their leaves, so they secrete organic acid soluble carbohydrates which create a high solute concentration in their cells, which make them enable to not to lose water and sustain in the high uh, high saline environment and hot environment. So the examples are acacia, jacquemonti, Withania, sominifera. So name, if I am not pronouncing correctly, please forgive me for that. Solanum sorientens, Neurada, procumbens, Salvadora, oiloids. Okay, so now coming to the major deserts of Pakistan. Tharpaka 167 plant species contain 167 plant species, and Nara 266 plant species. Cholistan can have 126 plant species. Thal have 156 plant species, and KHARAN contain only 26 plant species. They are their own indigenous plant species. So this map is very beautiful. You will see that Pakistan, India and Afghanistan. So Cholistan, Nara Desert, Thar Desert, these are the deserts you can see here. So first of all, we will talk about the Thar Desert. It spans an area of approximately 200,000 km square and covers area of both Pakistan and India. India has the larger chunk of this desert, but Pakistan have also have a huge part. It is the 7th largest desert on planet and 5th largest in Asia. Cholistan desert, large line compacted, semi-stabilized to frequently shifting dunes, and the climate is subtropical, harsh, hot and arid, and influenced by seasonal monsoons. So these are the different percentages of different plant species. You may see it in your own by stopping or pausing this video. Thal Desert, situated in Punjab. The area is subtropical sandy desert spread over 190 miles, salt range in the north, the Indus River floodplains in the west, Jhelum and Chenab River floodplains in the east. And this is also again the different species. You may see it by pausing video. Nara Desert, Sindh Province. It is in Sindh Province, sandy hills, steep slopes, vast low-lying areas locally known as parts. Perennial vegetation is sparse, prickly shrubs and herbs. Trees are few and scattered. Ephemerals emerge during the rainy season. KHARAN Desert, located in the northeast of Balochistan. Desert is in the center of a large empty basin, also called the Sandy Desert. The desert consists of moving sand dunes reaching heights from 15 to 30 meters with an underlay of pebble floor. Text of special concern from Sindh. You may also see it by pausing video. Okay, major threats to the biodiversity is that climate pattern to these deserts, climate patterns, environmental degradation, anthropogenic activities. Conservation strategies. How can we avoid or shun these damages to the environment. So first objective is that plant diversity is well understood, documented and recognized. So we have to understand which plant are going to survive there and which are indigenous. So we document, understand and recognize them. Number two is that plant diversity urgently and effectively conserved. Plant diversity is used in a sustainable and equitable manner. Number four, education and awareness about plant diversity, its role in the sustainable livelihood and importance to all life on earth is promoted. Objective number 5, the capacities and public engagement necessary to implement the strategy have been developed. Introduction of native tree species Acacia senegal, Capris decidua, Prosopis cineraria, Salvadora olidis. Stabilization of shifting sand dunes, germplasm conservation. These are the book you can read. Thank you for your attention. I hope you will like this video, and I will appreciate if you will comment, like and share. Please, if you have any query, ask in the comment section, and please do promote my effort. Thank you so much.